All right, guys, today we're going to be checking out some useful tools from Amazon. These are tools that I looked at and I found on Amazon, and they look like they're supposed to kind of just improve your life and just make the work that you're doing easier. So the first one that I found is this. This is a handle that you are supposed to put on a shovel. We'll try a couple different things, but you're supposed to put it on a shovel, and then it's supposed to help kind of take the leverage, or help you with leverage so you can shovel more easily without hurting your back. I'm really curious to see how this works. So let's go outside, do some shoveling, and we'll see how this works. So here is our regular shovel. I have a little pile of dirt. We're gonna do a couple shovelfuls, just normal. See what that's like. Kind of sucks because you kind of gotta bend over and then get your shovel and throw it in there. That's fine, but that kind of sucks. It sucks having to kind of bend your back over, especially if you have like a bad back or something. So let's get our little handle. Then this handle literally just clamps on like that. And now you can just adjust it to wherever you want. I think I'm gonna go something like here. I was thinking this would probably also be great for like a weed eater or something, so that you could have a longer handle and kind of just, weed eat around. I think that would be pretty great. I haven't even shoveled yet, and I can already tell you this is gonna be better. Yeah, look at that. You don't really even have to, you can almost just stand straight up if you want. You don't have to bend over at all. Why don't all shovels come with something like this? Or why is this not standard? This is so much better. It might not be faster, but it's a much more enjoyable experience. And if you were digging, yeah, same thing. This is great. I would rather shovel like this all day long than to shovel without this. If I had to rate this, I would give this a 10 out of 10. I think anybody that uses a shovel should have something like this, and probably get a couple of them, because you could probably use it for a rake just fine. Instead of raking like this, you could just grab this and then just rake. You could probably even almost get like two of them if you had enough handle, and then have two out here and then just rake like this. That would probably work great. I think this thing is so versatile. So yeah, I'd give this thing a 10 out of 10. Okay, so before we go any farther, today's video is sponsored by Hungryroot. So what is Hungryroot? Hungryroot is an online grocery delivery service that makes it easy to eat healthy. Here's how it works. It's very simple. You take a little quiz, you tell them a little bit about yourself, you tell them, your dietary needs, any goals you want to accomplish, anything like that. They take all that information, and then they will send you a weekly box with 10-minute recipes. Now, one of my favorite things about Hungryroot is not only does it save you so much time, because now you don't have to go to the grocery store, it just gets shipped straight to your door, but you get to edit your deliveries so you can pick what you want, so you only get exactly what you want. Another thing I like Hungryroot is if you're like me and you tend to be a creature of habit, using Hungryroot can help you discover new foods. They also cater to a wide variety of dietary needs. And then not only that, they help you save time, money, and reduce food waste. And then on top of all of that, something else that sets them apart is they send you full-sized groceries. All right, let's see what we can make for dinner. Let's just dump this all out. We got a lot of stuff. We got bacon, I like that. Beef jerky, can't go wrong there. We got buns. We got burgers, so that's good. We'll probably do burgers, right up my alley. We got cheese, breaded chicken nuggets. What else we got? We got spinach artichoke dip, lemongrass chicken, yogurt. Let's do some burgers with chicken nuggets. That seems right up my alley. All right, let's see how we did. Everything looks pretty good. Let's try these burgers. I don't remember what kind of burger that was. It's not just a regular burger. That's really good. Let's try some of this chicken. That's a good chicken nugget. This came out really good. So if you're interested in trying Hungryroot for yourself, you can get 40% off your first box, plus You get a free item of your choice in every box for life. Just go to hungryroot.com, use code TUBE at checkout. All the links will be in the description, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. All right, our next thing is this. This is, I think it's called a power broom, or some companies might call it something different, but this lighting sucks. Can the sun just go away? Anyway, I think it's called a power broom. I think other companies call it something different, but it's supposed to be, way better than just a regular push broom because it's powered and it's supposed to spin. And then if you have, I put some dirt down here. So if you have some dirt or anything on the ground, you're supposed to be able to just, power it up and just walk with it, and then it's just gonna sweep everything away. But this one, I think, is a very poor example because it was only 120 bucks off of Amazon. And I just put gas in it and fired it up for the first time to make sure that it works. And it feels extremely underpowered. I feel like I could create more torque with a push broom than what this is making. So this might be a very poor example of what this is supposed to be, but we'll see. All right, I'm not gonna lie, that was actually pretty impressive. The concrete is pretty much exactly just as clean as you would get it with a regular hand broom, and I'm impressed with this thing because it wasn't as underpowered as I thought it was gonna be. I guess just for some reason, whenever I first started it up and then revved it a couple times, it felt extremely underpowered. The torque was there. It did what it was supposed to do. It's a little bit more difficult to use than I thought. You can have the brush rotate in different directions. So you could have it the way I had it, where it spins this way. So that way you're pushing the stuff away like I was, or you can put it in reverse where you pull the stuff. I think pulling it would probably be easier, but then it's gonna, fling all the stuff onto you, which is, who wants that? But I do feel like that would probably be the easier way to do it. Anyway, that's a power broom. And overall, I'm actually, for 120 bucks, I'm actually kind of impressed with this one. All right, our next product. This one, I should have just sent this back as soon as I got it, honestly, because this just doesn't look anything like the pictures. But these are supposed to be anti-vibration gloves. And in the picture, they showed using a grinder. Anyone that's used a grinder for a long period of time, if you grind for say 30 minutes, your hands get that real tingly, numb feeling. These gloves are supposed to prevent that. The problem is, in the picture, they kind of just look like regular gloves, but then this is what they look like. And they have these deep, really deep foam ridges. And when you put them on, it's kind of you can't really do that much, and your hands are kind of useless. I think these things are gonna suck, but we'll give them a try. Maybe they work. Maybe it cuts down the vibration. First thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna use the Sawzall, because that vibrates a lot, and we'll cut off the end of that 6x6, and then we'll go from there. I mean, I can work it, but it's not easy. Hold on. We might be onto something here. No. We ain't onto nothing. We ain't onto nothing. Okay, that's a waste of time. It feels the exact same with the glove and without the glove. Let's try it with a grinder. I'll put on both gloves. Maybe you gotta have both of them on for the anti-vibration effects to engage. Don't you just love bugs in your face? I love it personally. I think it's the best. I love when they fly in my ears too. I should have had safety glasses, but I'll just engage my safety squints. Okay, that literally did not feel much different than a regular grinder when we do it without. For comparison. No, you would think that with these things being so thick and having such thick padding, you'd think that they would do something, at least a little bit. It's nothing. Besides the feeling of the gloves, if I could only feel vibrations, I would not be able to tell you whether I had the gloves on or off. It's literally, there's no difference. All you just do is make your hands feel like they're just like giant, and that's it. So that's a waste. So another tool that could be really useful is one of these bad boys. This is a magnetic bar, and the purpose is if you, like say you drop nails, you know, you had your roof replaced or whatever, you drop nails in the grass or even just like on the ground, you can take this and then just run it over top of the ground or, you know, driveway, concrete, whatever, and then it'll pick up all the nails. So that way you don't get nails in your feet, you don't get nails in your tires, none of that stuff. So I kind of feel like maybe this might be another kind of poor example because it doesn't feel like the magnet doesn't feel that strong, but we'll see. So we'll start off big. Not that you would need one of these for nails that are this big. You can probably just see these with your eyes and pick them up, but we'll give her a shot. We'll put like one there and one there. Let's just see if it picks it up. Oh, got that one. That was actually easy. So the big nails, it really grabs a hold of those. But like I said, this stuff, if you got this stuff laying around, you're gonna see it very easily. This is really for stuff that's, you know, like it's gonna be easily missed. So I have some very tiny nails. We'll see if it picks those up. Okay, I got 5 of these much smaller nails. This is what's gonna end up in your car tire, if you're in your foot, if you're walking barefoot. So these can be a problem. I got 5 of them, so let's do, this could actually be a problem, because I'm not gonna see these. Something just break? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that all of them? No, that was 4. Oh, look at that. This actually works a lot better than I thought. This one was also cheap. I think this was only like 15 bucks or something. That could be a real lifesaver, especially if you drive over one and get a flat tire. That's worth it. All right, next up. This is something I didn't even know this existed until I was just browsing through Amazon. This is a mechanical carpenter's pencil, and it's just like a giant mechanical pencil. So you just click it out, and instead of just like I think a normal mechanical pencil uses like 0.07 or something, size lead, something like that, real small. You have these really fat pieces of lead. I know someone's gonna correct me. It's probably technically graphite, but whatever. And it works just like a regular mechanical pencil, so you can click it out, push it back in, whatever. And you can have a sharp point. So whenever you're like drawing lines, you can actually, if you ever used like a speed square or something, and if you ever used those fat carpenter's pencils, you try to make a line. If you're trying to make an exact cut, it's kind of hard to do that whenever the lead is like 2 inches wide and you make a big fat line. So what's cool about these is that you can get a really, really, really fine line. Pretend like we're cutting something. Get a speed square. Let's say we need to draw a line. You can draw a really fine line. And it's exactly where you need to cut. Whereas compared to one of these, this is a whole nother debacle with these things. You can't hardly sharpen these things. Like I bought all these, and it came with a sharpener. But guess what? The sharpener doesn't do nothing. Like you can sit here and twist this in here all you want, and it never actually does anything. So I don't know Like, I don't know what the purpose is. Like, why would you give a sharpener and then it not do anything? And I think one time, I don't remember how, somehow I got this thing to work one time, and it just did like the most horrible sharpening job possible. Like it just sucked. So that sucks about these. So you gotta get a knife to sharpen these things. I'm gonna sharpen this. We'll sharpen this, and then we'll sharpen this. And we'll just see what the difference is. This you gotta whittle it down every time you want to sharpen it. Oh, that actually wasn't too bad. The tip is all like weird, but I think we can get a fine line out of that. Ignore that noise. That's just your mom walking upstairs. Actually, that was very, very comparable to this. But usually what happens with these is like the tip gets broke off, and whenever you go to draw a line, okay, well, never mind. Just make me a liar. Okay, that didn't work out the way I planned. Anyway, from personal experience, when I've used one of these, the tip gets real wide, and then whenever you go to draw something, the line that you're trying to cut on is extremely wide, and then you have to pull out a knife to sharpen it every time you want to sharpen it because those sharpeners never work. Whereas with this, say the tip breaks off. Okay, so now we're stuck with that. That's no good. We can just crank this out a little bit. It comes with a sharpener built in. And away you go. Just push it back in there, and you're off. Back to drawing regular lines. So I really like this over this. If I was, of course I'm not a carpenter, but if I was, I would probably choose something like this. Even though this is cheap and if something happens to it, whatever. Something else that's pretty cool is, obviously you can get lead refills, but look how the lead comes out. It looks exactly like, if you saw my really old video about the ballistic dart launcher, it's exactly what that looks like. And you can just grab a new piece of lead. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. The only thing is, I fear that if you were to drop this, which I guess we can test this, that the lead might break inside. So I guess we'll just... Let's see. No, actually it's completely fine. Huh. Maybe there's not that many downsides. Ooh, it did break. Ooh, okay. Yeah, so that's going to be a downside. So if you drop this from a high place, there's a chance you're going to break your lead, whereas that's not going to happen with this. But I guess even if you break it, it's still usable. Anyway, there's some give and take there. I just thought this was really cool, so I figured I would include it. All right, this next product, this is pretty much just like an extra feature. I don't even remember why I bought this or like what my thought process was behind this, but it's a magnet that has like a handle so that you can like pick stuff up and release it. I guess it could be useful. We're just gonna see how much it can pick up. So this contraption I have here, we have a 45-pound plate and then this block, which would usually be like something that you would like use to, I guess, exercise your grip, and you just like pinch it and like see how much you can pick up. So we're just gonna see how much weight it'll pick up. Oh, that's actually kind of nice. Like comes off real easy. So we'll start off at 45. I'm actually kind of surprised. I figured that might be a limit. Maybe we can jump up 10. We'll go to 55. Oh, okay. This thing might be stronger than I thought. That's what, 55? Let's go 65. Okay. This might be able to hold a lot more than I originally thought. Let's jump up to 75. Right? 45, 55, 65? Yeah, 75. I'm not very good at math. 75? 85? Okay. This is a lot more than I expected. So this is going to be 95. Okay, let's go 100. And also keep in mind, this thing I'm latching onto, it's like, the metal's not very thick. So, I guess if this was thicker, it would have even more force. So this is an even 100. Ooh, okay. So I guess 95 is a limit. Maybe like, realistically, probably like 97 or something might be the limit. Okay, so I'm pretty impressed with that. Basically 100 pounds. You could definitely get 100 pounds if the metal was thicker. Like I said, I don't even remember why I bought this, but it was impressive. All right, so that's everything. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.